Hi everybody. I decided to find out about what the Muslims believe. So I thought I'd have a look at the Quran. Just find a random verse 434. It says, beat them, referring to women. The Quran commands the physical abuse of women. Outrageous. Where's my remote control? A couple words are obviously enough for some people to judge a whole book by. But what if we step away from quote-unquote beat them to have a look at the verse where these words belong? Chapter 4, verse 34. That's more like it. This is the Yusuf Ali translation, by the way. Here it says, protectors and maintainers. Let's look at a near literal translation. The men are taking care of matters for livelihood on women. Let's move another step further back to be able to read another verse that's in the same chapter. Verse 19. Nor should ye treat them with harshness. Live with them on a footing of kindness. If you take a dislike to them, maybe that you dislike a thing, and Allah brings about through it a great deal of good. Now the near literal translation. Do not limit, confine, oppress them, and mix, associate, befriend them with kindness. Men are the protectors of women. They are taking care of them. They are commanded not to be harsh to them, also commanded to treat them kindly, but at the same time commanded to physically abuse them. Makes sense? Not to me. If that's not enough, yet another step further back, the book where these verses come from. In another chapter, how the beating that is allowed is to be done. Chapter 38, verse 44. And take in thy hand a little grass, and strike therewith, and break not thy oath. The near literal translation. And take with your hand a handful of grass, a handful, so strike, beat with it, and do not break oath. Here's a random tafseer. It's self-explanatory. Take in your hand a bunch of twigs or some blades of grass, and smite therewith. So he took 100 rushes and smote her with them once. The story of this verse, basically what happened was that Prophet Job, peace be upon him, Nabi Ayub alayhi salam, vowed to beat his wife 100 times. So what did God do? Did God let him do that? No. He told Job, peace be upon him, to take a handful of grass or small twigs, some that would fit in his hand, so the total of them would be 100, and then beat her with it only once, and that would suffice as a fulfillment of the vow. So even if you're really upset, and even if you vowed, you're still not allowed to abuse her. This is more of a symbolic gesture for the women, and more of a restriction on the men. This is the most that you can do. Now, let's revisit verse 34. The options given in this verse to solve the issue are, first, to talk to the women's minds, their intellect, advise them, admonish them. The second option is to talk to their emotions, leave them in bed. The third option is to beat them, as in tap them with something that cannot cause any harm whatsoever. As you may have noticed, there are no drastic measures. There are 4 options, by the way, not 3. You can refer to verse 35. So option 3 is not the last resort, as some may think. It's a misconception. Back to the 3 options in verse 34. No drastic measures. The problem is still contained between the husband and the wife. No intervention. No one is harmed. No divorce. Why no drastic measures? It's because the nushuz didn't happen. There's a fear of nushuz, but the nushuz didn't happen. What does that mean? It means pay attention and pick the clues early. Be smart. Don't let things go beyond reconciliation. To add one last thing before I wrap this up, nushuz is not restricted to women. As verse 128 in chapter 4 shows, it can be feared that the nushuz happen on the man's part. The word in Arabic is nushuz, but as you may have noticed, the translations are not perfect. They are using different translations for the same word in different verses. That's as brief as it gets. Assalamu alaikum.